Yeah.
Greetings, everyone. Kolisa Nenge is still my name, and welcome back to This World, a channel where we focus on social justice for all kinds of people. And let me take this opportunity to thank the people who are supporting the channel. Thank you, very much appreciated. And today we take a look at 0.5% VAT value added tax increase this year and next year, and how people are so disappointed in the vanguard movement, that is the ANC, for proposing to strangle the people. The vanguard movement is supposed to ease the pain on the people, not to strangle the people. I don't want to talk about the GNU's failure to agree on a budget twice, because I have never supported the ANC coalition with the anti-transformation forces in the first place. ANC Secretary General Mr. Fikile Mbalula, briefing the media on the 2025 budget proposal, said the ANC is welcoming the proposal, meaning they agree in strangling the people. He went on to say the proposal is a decisive intervention that prioritizes job creation, economic growth, and service delivery, while safeguarding the hard-won gains of our democracy. This budget is not about figures and allocations. It is about lived experiences of our people, addressing historical injustices and ensuring economic transformation remains at the center of government. That's what he says. I am not sure if I agree with Mr. Mbalula when the real impact of value-added tax or VAT increase to the poor is increase in electricity, fuel prices, food inflation, high interest rates, high cost of living, as Mr. Vuyo Zungula alluded nicely on the following clip.
Hide for a moment and bring in Vuyo Zungula, the president of the ATM. Of course, the elephant in the room coming into this budget was the proposal of the VAT increase, the 1 percentage point increase over the next 2 years. Does it strike the middle ground?
No, it doesn't, because the real impact when it comes to the poor now need to contend with an increase in electricity prices, fuel prices. We already have high interest rates. We already have a high cost of living. Now, if you add VAT to that mix, you are basically killing South African citizens. The problem, firstly, is that the government refuses to go after big corporates who are making money in South Africa. The amount that is lost through to illicit financial flows committed by especially companies in the mining industry, it is very high, but the government does nothing to address that. Secondly, you've got the informal sector whereby foreigners are trading there, not paying any form of taxes, but they're using the infrastructure, using the services, but even the government is not addressing that. Now, if you can go back also to the mining companies, the amount that the mining, the VAT was raised through VAT as opposed to mining royalties, the amount that was raised by VAT was 16 times higher than mining royalties, meaning we've got companies who are not South African-owned companies who are milking our economy in terms of our mineral resources, but they're contributing next to nothing. So we have a government, Bulelani, that rather would impoverish many South Africans who are barely surviving instead of finding alternative means of raising revenue.
He argues that increasing corporate tax would discourage investment. Do you buy that argument?
No, we don't buy the argument, because by the time in 1994 came, the tax rate just before apartheid ended, there was a it was 50%, and from 1994 it has been going down and down. But how can they be increasing VAT, which will impoverish the South African citizens, but on the corporate side, there's not even an increase. It has been going down since 1994. Also, Bulelani, there's the issue of the irregular and wasteful expenditure. That is above 126 billion on a yearly basis. Why are they not even going there? Because the Auditor General reports are very clear to say this particular department, this particular municipality has lost money in a wasteful and fruitless expenditure. Why are they not going after the real culprits, but they are rather going after poor South African citizens who are barely surviving?
The increases in social grants, are they sufficient in the current economic climate?
They're not even sufficient. The country, Bulelani, has got a lot of money. If you look at the amount of the mineral wealth that we have, if you look at the companies that are operating, milking our country, the biggest problem we have here is a matter of priorities. You have a government that rather wants to play sweetheart with the big companies, but play that tough figure when it comes to the grants that are produced by the government. There's no grant that is above 5,000 rands, meaning South Africans who are even grant recipients are struggling to survive.
And as we continue, kindly can we please like, share, comment on the video and subscribe to the channel, because it helps us a lot to grow the channel. Last time when Minister of Finance, Mr. Enoch Godongwana, postponed his budget speech, he seemed more concerned about not taxing big business than taxing the poor, saying in his media briefing that people, once you have got a crisis, you must tax companies. He said what it does, two things, which is a mistake, because people think companies are not going to respond. How they respond? By moving their companies elsewhere. And secondly, when you tax companies, you are taxing profitability, which is, in Mr. Moeletsi Mbeki's view, he sees the poor as soft targets that are not going to respond. And I'm not sure how Mr. Minister came to this conclusion, because the collective power of the working class and the poor is, in my view, greater than that of big capital, who are not even voting for the ANC in the first place. And watching Samkele Maseko on Explain and Verify, breaking down proposed VAT increase on SABC News, making it easy for lay people like myself to understand, showing graphic and saying, if you go and do your grocery shopping on items that are not zero rated, with 1,000 rands currently, your amount at 15% will be 150 rands, which is 1,150. That's what you pay. But 1,155 at 0.5 increase. And he also gave us a history of VAT, saying it is the second biggest contributor to tax revenue in South Africa at 499.5 billion after personal tax, which is 811.1 billion, and the third being the corporate tax at only 331.3 billion. People who have got a lot of money, trillions, people who are responsible for illicit cash outflows and other shenanigans, are the very people that the minister is reluctant to tax. And the fourth is custom and excise duties at 155.4 billion. The fifth, fuel levies at 90.2 billion rands. And the sixth being the other, I don't know what is the other, at 118.5 billion rands, saying the VAT was first introduced in South Africa during the twilight years of apartheid on the 30th of September 1991 at 10%. This I remember. Before value-added tax, there was general sales tax, GST, increased on the 7th of April 1993 at 14% and increased again under President Ramaphosa's administration after 25 years on the 1st of April 2018 at 15%. No wonder life is so tough under this administration, because everything is expensive. Everything. For me, I think people should double down on rejecting this 0.5 VAT increase, showing the minister that people can respond to, like big business, that he is afraid of. Showing him that we are not soft targets as he thinks. And I am also happy with the opposition parties rejecting this budget. Even the ANC's main coalition partner, that is the DA. But we cannot trust the DA, because already they are saying they are open to negotiations, provided the ANC can reverse or drop all their transformation efforts, like Bella Act, Expropriation Act, BEE, etc. Issues apparently they were discussing with their handlers in the United States, like Elon Musk, Trump officials, and other globalists, elites in the US. And good people, this is how we come to the end of today's episode. Please Let's click the notification bell, like the video, share, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and see you on the next one. Cheers.